This is my serious pose. This is my not so serious pose. Good day, everybody. This is John Morrow. It's good to be with you. I like to talk to you from this particular type of medium because it kind of allows me to be myself, but at the same time, it gives me an arena, if you want to call it that, to be able to talk, to share, to open up to you. When we were talking last time, I was mentioning to you the story of the different situations involving my mother Mary. Mary, of course, the subject of the book, I Never Noticed, My Journey Through Alzheimer's with Mom. And of course, I was talking primarily about the predatory issues that were taking place in Mom's life. And in my last message, I actually talked about the pushback that was taking place, where Mother was literally resisting our attempts to try to help her because she couldn't grasp the truth of the fact that she was in danger financially, emotionally, economically, potentially even physically. And there have been circumstances where she's had physical danger because of the fact that many Alzheimer's victims will resolve that they're going to go for a walk and they'll try to walk in a familiar area, but for some reason they'll stray off the path and come into contact with forces or things that can endanger them. But I digress. The thing I want to talk about a little bit more today, I mentioned a phrase: you have to learn to love the victim, and you have to learn to be kind to the victim, and you have to learn to be patient with the victim. That's hard to do. That's very hard to do. And I also need to stress, I'm not the full-time caregiver to my mother. I have periods where I am providing care for Mother when she comes and stays with us, and also when we go up and spend time with her for a period of days. Her principal caregivers are, of course, her guardian, which is my sister Terry. Terry has the legal responsibility for Mom in every way, form, shape, and fashion. Second of all, there are two other individuals that are paid out of Mother's finances as caregivers that, in a sense, babysit with her. They stay with her, they come to her house and visit with her, they help her with her meals, they help her with getting herself ready for bed, they help her with taking her medicine when she's supposed to. They even will many times spend the night at Mother's house so that Mother has someone in the house that can kind of keep an eye on her, make sure she's all right if she decides that she wants to get up and wander around the house, because Alzheimer's victims do have this upset sleep pattern where they have trouble sometimes sleeping and they become very restless. Now, what makes it interesting for my mother is that Mom has extraordinarily poor hearing. There's really only one ear that can benefit from having a hearing aid. So when Mother takes her hearing aids out and puts them away, she won't hear much of anything, but ironically, somehow or the other, she still can be easily disturbed out of her sleep, particularly if light comes on. And so when that happens, Mother could possibly be at risk. That risk could be something as simple as opening a door and checking outside because she's wondering, what day is it? What time is it? Is it nighttime before bed? Or is it early morning before sunrise? And she may even look and see something unusual and she'll want to go walking down to take a closer look at it. She might even walk down while she's still in her bedclothes. If the weather is cold, she may fail to put on a house robe. Now, couple that with the fact that if she leaves the house and the door is latched from the inside, and she doesn't take her key, you can see the potential for a problem there. She can lock herself out of the house without her cell phone, and then she's going to have to try to find help. And because of the Alzheimer's, she doesn't necessarily recall that help is readily available next door with her neighbors, Larry and Jane, who are the people that have known my mom and dad ever since they moved into that house back in 1961 when I was just 11. So you can begin to understand that an Alzheimer's victim has many potential dangers that confront them that have everything to do with a lack of judgment. And it is that lack of judgment that got Mother involved with the predators who were on the phone saying these wonderful, sweet, soft words and kindnesses and promising her hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of dollars, as well as cars, television sets, home entertainment systems. Why, even one time they offered her a deluxe Bible, and Mother, being a woman of faith, has longed to have a really nice Bible. And the thought that they would give her a Bible, well, they weren't going to give her a Bible, really. But they had learned so much from their conversations with her on the telephone, calling her repeatedly, day after day after day, and she getting to the point where she looked forward to their phone calls and to the conversations with them. And as they would talk and say these sweet words, almost as if they were a lover beckoning her, hey, I could be your husband. You would make a wonderful wife. They even would say things like that. My mother was in her late 70s and early 80s when they were doing this stuff to her. And these were not old men. These were young men, but these were men who were skilled and trained in the art of manipulation, of putting thoughts into the minds of the victims. One of the most insidious things that these people did, and this is where the pushback came in, was that they talked often about her financial resources and that she needed to have more money and that she could win money, but to win money she had to put money towards getting the prize delivered. And when she would talk about that money and her daughter being her caregiver, the lady or the man, whoever it was on the other end of the phone, would tell my mother, you don't trust your children because your children are inherently selfish. They want your estate. They want your house. They want your car. They want your mementos and keepsakes. They're not your friends. We are telling you what you need to know so that you can better protect yourself from the people that are going to steal from you and rob you of your estate. And then when they've gotten everything they can from you, they're going to put you into a nursing home where you will spend the rest of your life alone. You'll be with other people, but no family will ever come and see you when you go into a nursing home. Now that's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie. I repeat it 3 times, but here's the thing. Alzheimer's victims cannot make credible judgments. They cannot discern concrete facts and details. They have no judgment skills. This is one of the tragedies of Alzheimer's. And when you are a family member and a caregiver, and that victim still has the capacity to make decisions on their own to a degree, even those decisions are now damaged, skewed, and handicapped, nonetheless, that creates a struggle. And during that period of time, from when the Alzheimer's blew up in our face in March of 2011 until my sister gained control through the guardianship process, we battled back and forth with Mother repeatedly. And the biggest challenge was, 1, understanding why she was behaving the way she was and not taking it personal. And 2, always remembering to love the victim even when they're unlovable. Because if you always remember, the day will come when that victim, that loved one, will no longer know who you are. You better hope that you have spent your time doing as much as you can to keep the bridge connecting your 2 lives in good shape so that it doesn't catch on fire and burn or come crashing down because it's lost all of its support underneath. That's a symbolic statement, but I think you get the picture. The victim is the victim, and you can be the victim too if you're the caregiver. So as we continue forward with this process, there will be some interesting stories that I'll share with you. of the conflict and what we might be able to do to resolve that conflict in those moments when rage becomes a factor. It's been good talking with you at this particular time. We'll sit together and talk again very, very soon. Until then, this is John Morrow. I Never Noticed. Thanks for joining me today.